What is going on, people? Welcome to another episode of the Series X podcast. And guys, do we have stuff to talk about today? Every once in a while, then something happens, rare announcements, things that people didn't even think was possible, just get announced, and it just shakes the entire gaming industry. And it's something that we actually got here when it came to Xbox this week. What is going on, chat? Good to see you guys. Good to see everybody in there. If you haven't done it yet, and I know I haven't, so I'm going to do it right now. If you haven't done it yet, hit that thumbs up button. Let people know where you are right now. You are live with us, me, and my partner in crime, Jamie Moran. What's going on, brother?
All right, man. It's been a good week for gaming news, and after we've had weeks filled with prices and more price reveals, and hardware, and now we are at almost the final stage, and we get all this brand new news this past week, and it's gonna be good to talk about because it's mainly gaming related.
Yeah, definitely, bro. And of course, as always, this is a Series X podcast. So not only is it gaming related, it is strictly Xbox related. That is right, guys. Me and Jamie came together to do a show that is completely about Xbox. No mentions of any other platform from me or the elusive gamer. And we ask that the chat do so as well. Please, no mention and no console war drama. This is not a show about all that. This is a show for the Xbox gamer talking Xbox news, Xbox entertainment. Strap in, guys. One thing I want to give a major shout out to Ice Queen Gaming. What is going on, lady? Good to see you in the chat, even though she had to run. It is her birthday, though, so happy birthday to Ice Queen. Oh man, yeah, Jamie, she's been in like Next Podcast chat for a long time. She supports the community. Awesome person in the community. And it's good to see her in the chat. But we got to get into it, guys. Like I said, Xbox show. You know what? I didn't tell Jamie I was gonna ask him about this, but I am. Jamie, I'm going to ask you a question that we didn't talk about. And, everybody's been talking about the pre-orders, the Xbox pre-orders. Some people got them, some people didn't. Some people got them in their cart, and unfortunately, their significant other didn't realize what was going on and deleted it. So deleted the pre-order. Shout out to my boy Butcher Van on that note. But yo, Jamie, I gotta ask you, did you get your pre-order in for the Series X or the Series S?
Oh yeah, got my Xbox Series X all pre-ordered, and honestly, looking back on it, it was kind of a seamless experience.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, look, it took about 15 minutes, in between 15 and 30 minutes to get it finally done. But looking back on it, I did it from my bed. Like, I can't really complain. Could it have gone smoother? Yeah. I mean, when the Xbox One X was about to be, up for pre-orders, I just went to Amazon, clicked it, went in the basket, done. So I literally did that in seconds. But when it comes to the Series X, I decided to, spend the past year saving my Microsoft reward points to see how much money I could get off this generation. And I go onto my Xbox at 8 a.m. or just before 8 a.m. and I went to the store where you could buy hardware now from it, and I put the order through and it went error, sold out. And I was like, what? I've been here all night,
Mm-hmm.
So I kept doing that for about 15 to 30 minutes and it eventually went through. But yeah, I got the Xbox Series X for around 350 something pounds, which mean I got it almost £100 off.
Wow.
So
good deal,
yeah.
bro.
Yeah, I mean, I can't complain. It was pretty much a plan I had a year ago.
You know
pretty
what?
much works.
You know what, Jamie? You know what I find interesting? I haven't heard a lot of people talk about getting on their Xbox and then going to the store on their Xbox One console and going to the hardware part and doing it that way. Dude, you are a true Xbox gamer, Xbox fan, man. You even used your console to order the next gen console.
Yeah, I like to say it as some Inception level stuff.
Yeah, it's a dream within a dream, bro.
Yeah, I mean, like, look, normally when it comes to me ordering stuff, something always goes wrong. I expect that. I expect the wrong things to go, and I'm a clumsy guy. I kind of have bad luck when it comes to some things, but when it came to this, hey, I got it done, and I got I think it was like £93 off or something. But hey, it worked, and ordering from my Xbox, like, I'm probably going to do that in the future for more hardware because.
Mm-hmm.
In future, if it comes to like maybe a headset or something or a controller, I'm just gonna do it from the Xbox.
Maybe
why get out my phone?
Memory or something, maybe.
Yeah, we'll talk about that when we get to it.
Nice, brother. Now, before we get into the meat of it, first off, I gotta give a shout out to our brother Sean Murray hitting up that super chat. Thank you, brother, for the support. He said, "Hey, Xbot448, wanted to say I am pumped for this new gen. Let's go Xbox. Hot my Xbox Series X. It took me 2 hours on Best Buy." So he basically he got his pre-order for the Series X. It took him 2 hours on Best Buy. Yo, shout out to you, brother. I will say, unfortunately, no, I have no pre-order because there are some broke folk in the world, man. I'm telling you, I right now I don't have the money for it, but I did work at GameStop in 2013, and I will let you guys know that first round of pre-orders, it's not going to be the only round of pre-orders coming through the pipeline until the launch of the system. So, hopefully, God willing, what I'll say, when I hit the lotto, I will definitely have a Series X. That's where we're going with that. But Jamie, let's get into something. And Jamie, when we were talking about this in terms of topics, I really like this topic because it's not United States centric. All right. There's something going on. There's a certain title going on that you're saying is getting some hype over there across the pond. So Jamie, I'm gonna hand over the mic to you, man. I want to hear what's going on over there, in terms of this game, and kind of break down kind of what the game is for people who are over here in the States and in other parts of the world who might not know about this game. But what's going on, man? There's some hype going on across the pond right now?
So over here in Europe, there's games that are pretty popular that aren't really popular in the US. We have Farming Simulator, which is memed to hell, but it's popular. But one of those games, which is PC centric, is Football Manager. And there hasn't been a Football Manager on Xbox since, I believe it was 2007. And they just stopped porting it for some reason. And people have been asking for years because, look, a lot of Europe is PC centric, but when it comes to like Western Europe and the UK, we're all about the consoles. So people in the UK have been pleading for this game to come to consoles
just
for
real
years.
Just real quick, guys. When he says PC, you got to remember the Xbox platform does go across to PC, so we're not breaking our own rules here. I just want to throw it out there. We are not breaking our own rules because Xbox has also adopted PC. But go ahead, Jamie, because I know somebody would be in the chat and they'd be like, "Oh, what did you say?"
To make it more Xbox centric, it's in Game Pass for PC. So there's that. But yeah, Football Manager, it's huge here, and people have been wanting it for 13 years back on home consoles, and it finally went through. Microsoft offered next gen and current gen dev kits to the developer, and they aren't a huge developer. A lot of huge games in the UK and Europe are made by small teams, and this is one of them. It's literally a simulation game. It's not like FIFA or Pro Evolution Soccer where you literally run around with the characters and play football. It's literally spreadsheets and stuff, and it does sound boring, but at the end of the day,
it's a spreadsheet simulator, but people really get into it.
Yeah, I mean, like
Okay.
when you break it down, it's all about spreadsheets. It's the same with Eve Online. Like you fly around a starship, but again, it's all about managing fleets and all your salvage and stuff. And again, it just boils down to spreadsheets. But the game's popular and people have wanted it on console for years, and it's getting upgraded for Xbox Series consoles, which is huge. But like the thing is, when that announcement came about, like I looked at the Xbox Series S and thought, there's all these people been wanting Football Manager in the UK and Europe for years, and there's going to be this tiny little box Xbox console that people can buy for Football Manager, and it's like I know it doesn't seem huge in the US, and it probably sells 2 copies, but in the UK and Europe, it's massive. Like dude, it does like millions.
Dude, exactly what you said. You pair that with the Series S, which is the graphic that you guys are seeing now. People in the chat, the visuals that are going on is kind of like the promotions for the Series S, which, a $300 system, which is also kind of like multimedia as well. That's the way consoles have gone. But you're looking at a $300 box, and if you're like Jamie, you get deals where you can. Jamie saved up like his Microsoft reward points to get some money off of his hardware and stuff. But dude, that sounds like a win-win. So people are hyped for that over there, right?
Oh yeah, like there's people that I talk to in real life that don't actually care about gaming that much, but when this came about, because everyone knows about Football Manager, and you have to think about in the UK, football is the biggest thing. Football, Harry Potter, you name it. Our UK centric things. And Football Manager again, like 2007 or something is when we had it on Xbox last time. So it's a big announcement.
Damn.
And it kind of topped off the week with like just really good information, because like after all this news we had with what we're going to be talking about next, like this small tiny piece of news is actually huge in Europe. So it's like it's another win for Xbox, like to get this finally to come back after all this time.
Yeah, those kind of like little things, like you said, it hasn't been on console since 2007. I know a lot of people, they have a tendency to think regionally. I'm in the United States, so we look at the patterns within America and stuff, but it's always good to hear kind of like what gamers are doing in other parts of the world. What kind of like hooks and niches and stuff can get people excited that, maybe not over here. I think you said it off air. You're like, maybe one person would buy a copy of Football Manager in the United States. And guys, it's just a joke. I know I laughed when Jamie said that, but something that can create hype somewhere else. It's always interesting to hear kind of like the different cultures and what they get into. I'm excited for you guys over there. Everybody who's excited for Football Manager, and you can go with like the lowest priced next gen console, and you could get a good deal. We'll wrap it up in a little bow and just bring it home and have a great time. Jamie, there's something else, man. I'm picking on you today, yo. I'm picking on you, Jamie, yo. And again, shout out to the chat, guys. If you haven't done it yet, slap that thumbs up button. Let people know that we are here strictly talking about Xbox right now. Jamie, I hear that you have a bone to pick right now, and I believe, as usual, it's a Mass Effect bone. Something's got you ticked off, man. What's going on, bro?
Yeah, so I've been trying to warn people for the past month that get ready for the Mass Effect Trilogy Remastered to be delayed, because like I've been talking about this for like 9 months. Like that's when I first found out about it. And people can believe me or not, but hey, I've been right about Mass Effect almost every single time I talk about it. But it's like,
yeah,
when
take note, chat. He's been pretty much he's been right pretty much any time he's talked about Mass Effect. If you want Mass Effect news, you come to Jamie. Okay, my bad.
It's like when it comes to this remaster, like EA have been tight-lipped about it, because EA has been against remasters for years. And then when they saw how good the Batman Return to Arkham did, and the BioShock Collection and Skyrim Definitive Edition did, they changed their minds because they saw dollar signs, right? So then they came out with Need for Speed, I think it was Paradise, That sold pretty well. Plus, racing games also sell well in the UK. And then they came out with the Command and Conquer remake or / remaster. So it's like the one thing that people have been asking for years was the Mass Effect trilogy. And they didn't show it at the, quote unquote E3 stream because, everything going on around the world right now is kind of put a dampener on things. And, VentureBeat, there was a Jeff Grubb article came out saying that it's been delayed because when I haven't heard anything for about a month, it's always usually a sign of a delay. So the game's going to be pushed back to next year. But that isn't necessarily the bad part. So let's get the good news out of the way. They're delaying it longer because they want to touch up the first Mass Effect game. Like, that's my favorite game of all time, but I can tell you 200 things about that game that I don't like. The gameplay, the inventory system, the way the Mako moves. Yes, I mastered it, but at the end of the day, the Mako is essentially a moving meme. And they need to pay close attention to that because, again, you can go into cover in that game and pop out without even touching a button. Like, the combat in that game is horrendously bad. So they're going to pay more attention to that game and getting the combat right, which, in my opinion, is the right way to go. The bad part, and the part that makes me triggered, is the fact that they're removing the multiplayer from Mass Effect 3. And the thing is, when that was announced in, I think, 2011, people were up in arms. Even I was. I was like, they cannot put multiplayer in an RPG. And then when they came out with the beta, people played it, and everyone completely changed their mind. It went from, no, this is going to be dog crap to, wait a minute, that was really good. I'll play it one more time just to make sure. And people were hooked. People that played RPGs for years got into multiplayer for the first time because of this game. And so when it came out, like, they supported it with free maps, like literally dozens of free maps. And it was just really well done. There wasn't anything bad with the game. The way they did the microtransactions were fair. People that were actively against microtransactions said, you know what? The way they're doing it's fair. And it was. And to not have it included, I get it in one way. A lot of remasters this generation has ditched the multiplayer.
Yeah.
It takes up more resources, and sometimes multiplayer was made by other teams, so that's just a whole other bunch of stuff that you have to get done, and it's going to be costly. The thing is, I went on today, and there's people still playing it regularly. Like, there's something about Mass Effect 3's multiplayer that is just so good, and we could have had 4K 60 frames on current generation, by the way, for multiplayer, and that just really annoys me because it plays so good to this day, and it's still so addictive. And for people that haven't played it, it's 11 waves hard mode with some objectives, but it's just so good the way it's done. There's 4 year, just go in, get the job done, and then you wait for a shuttle, and then the boss comes in. You have to like try and survive until the shuttle arrives, and it's just good. But it's just a shame because that was a marquee thing when it came to Mass Effect 3, and when it comes to like, there's a thing in the game called Galactic Readiness, which is where you had to get as many points as possible to essentially get the best ending, which means they're removing the multiplayer, but you're going to have to get your galactic readiness up to get the good ending. So it's like they're going to have to completely rework how you get points in the game. So it's just like, it's a shame that they've having to remove it because it was just fun. Like, it was just a genuinely good mode where nobody found anything to complain about. You had good maps on a regular basis. You had variants of each map. You had different difficulties, easy matchmaking. Customization was fairly limited, but hey, it worked. And just the microtransactions were fair. You didn't have to spend a single penny if you wanted to. Like, I never spent real money on that game, and I bought packs all the time with in-game credits. It's just like, it's just a missed opportunity, in my opinion, because EA could have continued to make money from this game where 5 years from now, no one will be playing it because it'll be only be on 360 backwards compatible, But,
oh, my bad.
No, but with it being an EA Access, the original trilogy backwards compatible, and with EA Access coming to Game Pass, more people should try that multiplayer. So later in this year, when we get EA Access and Game Pass, fire up Mass Effect 3, everyone, and just play the multiplayer.
Try that multiplayer,
yeah. It's genuinely fun. It can be challenging. There's multiple different difficulty settings. It's just good. Like, it's genuinely good.
When it comes down to it, when developers and publishers decide that they're going to do a remake, remaster, I will say, Jamie, I'm on your side in the fact that I feel like they need to bring that complete game into the remake slash remaster. So in terms of them dropping multiplayer, I am not down with that. I do not agree with that. I will not accept that. All right. One thing I gotta ask, Jamie, do you think that, because there is a point system, like you said, and they got to rework that. Excuse me, but they got to rework that. Do you think that there's any chance that they might kind of like put it in afterwards, or do you think they're just cutting it off forever and you're just focusing on the story elements, which people out there who aren't crazy into like deep dive Mass Effect, a lot of people, they know it for the story. You know what I'm saying? Do you think that there's any chance that they might add it on at a later date, because that's also popular with developers now?
Yeah, I mean, the good news is, well, in my mind, I think they will add it later because, again, people have been asking this for years to be remastered.
Mm-hmm.
And if they don't have the multiplayer, it's still going to sell ridiculously well. Am I not going to buy it because of this? No, like, of course I'm going to be there day one. I'm going to hype train this like nothing else,
They should come
and
out with a
people will
Jamie
witness it.
Moran
Like, but
They should come out with a Jamie Moran edition. Make a special edition with your name on it, brother. For the amount of talk that you put out there in social media about the franchise. That's my opinion, just my opinion.
I mean, I've earned it. But like the thing is, I think if it sells well, which it will, it could probably get, maybe they'll release Mass Effect 3 multiplayer as its own thing for free. Maybe down the line as like, an optional thing, because again, the microtransactions in that game were fair. And if it sells well, which it will, they might go, you know what, we can earn a little bit more money with this by putting in the multiplayer as its own thing, because it doesn't really have to be attached to, the campaign. So, they're obviously going to rework the point system, which you need to get the good ending. So, I could see them releasing the multiplayer later, even if it's its own download, because again, it still plays well and it's 8 years old.
Well, Jamie, yeah, it seems like the roller coaster that is Mass Effect with you, man. It's got its ups and downs, and you are strapped in that cart, and you are riding that thing to the fullest. So I salute you, bro. Yo, chat, I gotta ask you guys, what do you think about this? First off, the game being delayed. Now, nobody's really come out and said anything about it officially, so it is what it is when it comes to that. But and what do you think about them taking the multiplayer out of Mass Effect 3? Are you a Mass Effect fan? These are things we want to know here. Um, so just type in the chat. Let us know your thoughts on that. Yo, shout out to Fun Speculation hitting up that super chat. Thank you, brother. He says you deserve an Xbox Series X. Go grab a couple large Pepsis from Taco Bell. Take your shot. Brother, I appreciate that. Funny thing is, like, and it really wouldn't be Pepsi, especially not two. I don't drink a lot of soda, bro. I really don't. But I appreciate that, man. Thank you for all the love and support, brother. Definitely appreciate it. Shout out to Badass Lord Tipsy. He says, sup, guys. Not even a super chat, but he said, what's up? I didn't see anybody answer him back. We got to show love to each other, guys. This is an all Xbox show. Shout out to the Game Filter, a longtime friend of mine. It is good to see him back in the chat. It's good to see him on social media again. Overall, awesome guy. So it's good to see all you guys. And we got to get into the next topic. I got to clear my throat real quick. Hold on 1 second. I had a little tickle there. So, all right, guys. Again, we are touching on topics now that might have kind of gone to the wayside because there was absolutely huge news. So stay tuned for that. We are going to get into the acquisition, hashtag the acquisition, but there's something I want to bring to people's attention, and again, it's something when it comes to Xbox that I have not seen anybody talk about, and the only reason why I know is because I got I got a message from Xbox on my Xbox One, and it was talking about Upload Studio. Now, before we get into this, I want to let you know Upload Studio is kind of like near and dear to my heart. If it wasn't for Upload Studio, I might not have this channel right now, because it was Upload Studio and them allowing me to edit gameplay and do voiceovers and then upload to YouTube directly from my console. That's what started this channel back in 2014. I know some people go back. You can check out the very first like round of videos that are on this channel. They all came from Upload Studio, and they were uploaded directly through my Xbox. Now, the news here is, guys, I hope you're sitting down. For people who like Upload Studio, I hope you're sitting down, because Upload Studio is going away. That is right. They are killing off Upload Studio. I know a lot of people out there wanted them to upgrade it, wanted them to evolve it, make it better. It's something that I wanted, but what they are doing is they are going to be replacing it with basically a mobile app. Now, with the mobile app, it's going to be easier to share to social media. You can like you know share through your phone to social media and stuff like that, which is cool features and stuff. But one thing I did not see is anything about voiceovers. You can like edit your game clips in terms of clipping them and stuff like that, but that broad spectrum. And yes, I do say broad spectrum. It wasn't the greatest kind of like video editing software, but it was the software in Xbox. I'm a little upset about this. Now, Jamie, I gotta ask you. First off, I gotta ask you about your history with Upload Studio, but then I want to hear what you think about this and what they're doing with kind of like moving towards a more mobile app and kind of like those key features. But you know, again, taking away kind of like the voiceovers and stuff. I know a lot of people started their YouTube channel off of Upload Studio. So, what's your history, and then what do you think about this, bro?
Yeah, it's a shame. I mean, the first few years of my channel was Upload Studio. That's how
Yes.
I put out content, and then I discovered, microphones and better editing software. But like, it does a good job for what you want it to do, and I kind of mastered that thing. I knew how to do good transitions and stuff. It's like, if it wasn't for that, I may have not even like joined YouTube, or at
Who
least
knows what would
continued
have
with it.
happened then, man? Like,
Yeah, and it's like the thing is, it was a very simplistic piece of software, and when it came to like the Xbox One X launch, Microsoft start talking about how you're going to be able to basically make 4K content in the console, and that never came to be. And that was always my one sticking point with Upload Studios, that Microsoft just kind of left it. And it's the writing's been on the wall for a while. It hasn't been updated since like 2014. We had Sunset Overdrive, templates and stuff,
and
and
that was
Minecraft
it.
templates.
That was
Yeah,
it.
and that was it. And the thing is, we never got proper like 4K support for editing. We never got new templates or transitions or anything new. Like, you can't use a proper microphone on an Xbox unless you have like a billion different wires. And again, some microphones, especially the one I use, which is a Blue Yeti, it doesn't work with a console properly. So it's like the only option is to use an Xbox headset. And if you listen to the first 2 years of my channel, it doesn't sound that good. But now it does, because I use a microphone. But it's a shame, because they could have went all the way with it and offered us something different. I'm hoping that down the line they do replace it, because again, when it comes to the sharing thing and the Xbox Series share button, like, you can customize that button to what you're going to do. You can have it basically hit, record and then upload to Twitter or whatever, right? And you can actually customize what that button does, which is awesome.
Oh, you can customize it, because I know, like, if you hit it quickly, it takes a screenshot. If you hold it down, it'll capture gameplay for whatever you set for that amount of time. But you can customize it, huh?
Yeah, you can customize it for presses and holds, and it looks really interesting. And what they're doing with the share button, I have no problems with. I think it's really cool. But when it comes to editing, sometimes you do want to just use Upload Studio and put your voice in over a clip,
Yeah.
which takes maybe a minute or two. But if I wanted to do that now, or should I say when they remove it, I will have to download that video onto my computer, go to some editing software, upload the video there, put my voice in, render it, complete file, upload to Twitter. So a 2-minute process, if that, is turned into about 15 minutes.
I'd say 15, 20 minutes.
Yeah, and it's just not optimal. It's not practical for people. But you have to think about this: what is the percentage of people using it? How many of those people use it on a regular basis? How many people still use that that feature? Because Microsoft drops things plenty of time. In fact, all companies drop things like this if nobody's using them. The optical port got removed because next to no one used it. The Kinect port got removed from the Xbox One X because no one used it.
Thank you for reminding me about the optical port. I'm mad again now because I did use that. I used it for Rock Band.
It's just a shame. But the thing is, when it comes to the whole editing now, if you see me post a clip of gameplay onto Twitter, the chances are I didn't even post that from my Xbox because I download the videos from the Xbox app to my phone, I trim it, and then I just post it to Twitter. It's easier for me because I've just been doing it like that for a few years now. Because Upload Studio doesn't always work. You can't save files rather than uploading them straight to online, which is weird in my opinion. And it's it's a shame, but it's they're either going to completely replace it with something else or give us this bare bones thing, which I've technically been using for a few years now to upload it to Twitter. But it's a shame. They could have done all sorts with it. But is Microsoft known for making excellent editing software? Not really.
See, and Jamie, that is it, because I was going to ask you, why do you think they did this? Now, throughout the years, Microsoft, Windows, PC, their editing software, it was easy to use. It would be what was it, Movie Maker on PC or whatnot. I still use Movie Maker for certain kind of transitions and stuff like that within certain videos. Simplified editing, which I think is really cool. Plus, I know Movie Maker like the back of my hand, so I'll still use that. I use the legacy one. I learned how to download that and all that good stuff when I need some quick editing and all that good stuff. But yeah, do you think that's the reason why? Because Microsoft never really kind of hooked in on a good editing software that they created that kind of really went extensively into kind of features and things that you can do with editing. Do you think that's the reason?
Yeah, I think that's part of it. I think it's just a 2-part thing. No one was using it, but the thing is, it's it was kind of this endless loop. Nobody's using Upload Studio because it's bad, but Upload Studio doesn't get used.
So it's bad.
Yeah, so it's this endless loop. So it's they probably looking at it thinking, well, no one's using it. Well, let's not change anything. But no one was using it because it was bad. And there we have
no one was using it because they didn't change anything. Yo, you are so right, man.
And when it came to Windows Movie Maker, I always hoped that they would kind of bring a ported down version to console, because again, you can do tons of different things with that. You can even use your microphone, use your camera, do transitions, add text, all that good stuff. But you couldn't do that in Upload Studio, and that was the problem. And the thing is, that's me talking right now. I moved from Upload Studio because of its limitations. And what did I do? I bought a mic, I learned how to use editing software, and that's where I'm doing better content now, because I couldn't do with the content I'm doing now on an Xbox. So, I factor into that as well. I stopped using Upload Studio because it's crap.
Dude,
but
okay.
At the end of the day, Microsoft's probably looking at this thinking, well, only 2% of people use this maybe a month. So it's I never see clips on Twitter of people that's edited clips and upload.
Yeah,
So
no, I do raw gameplay clips now, screenshots, stuff like that, because they have the share too, and it says Twitter right there, and I do it that way. But dude, you gotta admit, like it kind of it's a little heartbreaking, man. Especially for people like us, Jamie, who you know, if it wasn't for this bit of software, like who knows if we would have had YouTube channels. And I know a lot of people started with Upload, man. It's a sad day, bro.
yeah, I mean, it plus it's a nostalgic thing. Like,
Yes.
like my very first video on YouTube was me getting Bioshock Infinite like 3 days early or something, right? I was in Tesco and I saw it there, but I never really touched YouTube again for a while. And then I discovered this new Xbox One has a, editing feature. And I thought, why not try YouTube? So it's like, it's a shame because, like, again, like the first 2 years of my video were with Upload Studios.
Hmm.
So it's a shame.
And you got good with it too, right? Like the splashes, the transitions. Like I know, like when I was creating videos and stuff. First off, doing voiceovers. Like I had to become Jay-Z. And the reason why I say that is Jay-Z says he goes into the booth and he just records an entire song at once, like no messing up or anything like that. I had to learn how to do that because if I messed up, I had to erase it and then start back at the beginning. Like, and it really it helped me kind of create some rhythm in how I was talking and how I was addressing things and stuff like that. So like I don't know. I'm a little upset. And then of course, Jamie, you reminded me about the optical drive. So now I'm even a little more upset now. So thank you for that, brother.
You're welcome.
All right, guys. On that note, and while we move on to the next topic, please, guys, in the chat, let us know when was the first time you used Upload Studio and what you used Upload Studio for. It'll be good to see how many people in this community, how many supporters of this show, you know, did use this bit of software on the console and used it frequently. Jamie makes a lot of sense with the whole kind of like bitter circle. They looked at the numbers. Not a lot of people were using it, so they didn't update it. And people weren't using it a lot because they weren't updating it and making it better. It is a very, very vicious circle, and unfortunately, people who do like to use Upload Studio, we're the ones who are gonna have to kind of suffer through that. But let's turn that frown upside down because we are getting into the main topic. And, all Xbox gamers out there should know that there was huge news that came out this week, announcements and such about a certain acquisition. Yeah, Game Filter, you definitely used it for dude. I remember the content. I remember a particular video that was absolutely hilarious, Game Filter. But a certain acquisition, Xbox opened up their wallet and pulled out $7.5 billion. And we're not talking stocks, we're not talking anything but, like Randy Moss said, straight cash, homie. $7.5 billion. And they bought the parent company to Bethesda. Now, the parent company is called ZeniMax. Now, there are multiple studios under ZeniMax. You got Bethesda Softworks. You have id Software. You have Arcane. The list goes on. There is a bunch of studios, and this shook the gaming industry, like the foundation. There's cracks in the foundation now. Stuff that people didn't think was possible. All of a sudden, they're like, "Well, that might be." And first off, generally, I got to ask you, Jamie, where were you and what did you think when the news started hitting social media and, of course, big gaming news, and people just for at least 24 hours, it seemed like the gaming industry just froze on this topic here, this acquisition. What do you think? What were you thinking when you saw this, bro?
Well, at the time, I had a cold, so I didn't really go online all day. And then I thought, you know what? It was like around about 4 or 5 p.m., I think. I went on my phone and I just started seeing people, post Doom pictures and, Skyrim stuff. And I was just thought it was a bit weird. And then I see Major Nelson posted that picture, which was Xbox X Bethesda. And I was just like, what?
What?
Because the thing is, if anyone's ever seen The Matrix, whenever someone sees a werewolf or a vampire, that's technically a glitch, and that's someone messing with code. Well, this messed with all the code because my brain just went haywire. I was like, how, when, why? It's like it was completely out of the blue. And the thing is, the only thing I could think of was like, why is Gamora? Like, this was so confusing. Like, it was just out of nowhere. It was a Monday, and we got that news. Like, mind blowing. Like, dude, no one expected that.
Dude, absolutely shook everything to its core. Now, people have, plenty of shows go on before we come on Sunday, especially if something gets announced like that on Monday. So everybody has had their run on, their thoughts and opinions and all that good stuff. So, I got to ask you first, when it comes to this acquisition, I got to ask you, what is your favorite studio under ZeniMax that you are excited that, Xbox has acquired? And then with that, I got to ask you, why is this good for Xbox? Like, why did Xbox decide that they were going to pull out a chunk of money and go after ZeniMax and all these studios?
Well, my favorite studio out of all of them is Machine Games. They are behind the Wolfenstein games, and frankly, I didn't even know Machine Games was owned by Bethesda. I just thought they were contracted. So, one, they were one of my favorite studios, and two, it was a nice surprise to find out that Bethesda owned them, or I should say now Xbox. And it is huge. And the thing is, like, why would Microsoft get them? Because I've seen many people mention this. Why would Microsoft go for Bethesda when they have the Outer Worlds, which is Fallout, and they have Avowed, which is going to be like Skyrim? It makes sense. It's a logical question to ask. But do you know what's better than one Skyrim? 2 Skyrims. Do you know what's better than one Fallout? 2 Fallouts.
Oh,
that's why. And the thing is, like, I love the Outer Worlds. In my opinion, like, as a Fallout fan, Fallout fan for years, I enjoyed the Outer Worlds more.
Wow.
And the thing is, I never expected that. So when they came out and showed the Avowed trailer, I was like, if I'm going to see spells like that in a Skyrim type game, I'll buy it twice. So when it came to this whole like a Bethesda thing, people are saying like, why would they buy more studios like that? And the real question is, why not? It doesn't hurt to have more RPG studios under the belt. It doesn't hurt to have another studio that makes top caliber FPS campaigns. They also have the team that's behind Quake. Like, the list really goes on. Doom.
That right there, Quake right there. Because, like, my favorite Quake was Quake 3 Arena. Dude, I spent hours on Quake 3 Arena. And, from all the names that people throw out there, the Fallouts, the Elder Scrolls, the Dooms and stuff. Like, dude, I'm excited about the acquisition when it comes to Quake. Because I think they can really build off Quake. Quake is a long-running franchise, man. I think a lot of people are sleeping that one.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, like, when it comes to first-person shooters, let's face it, when it comes to multiplayer in general, Battle Royale's taken the world by storm to the point where other modes just get ignored. However, I do think it'll get to a point where, that egg will crack and people will, run away from it.
Yeah.
So, like, the only other thing that you can look at is, like, Battle Royale in arena games. At completely opposite ends of the spectrum. And in my opinion, I've had more fun with arena. But the thing is, nobody plays arena games now. But they will come back.
More. I like arena more.
It's kind of a cycle. Like, people will go back to arena games. And when they do, they will have Doom, Halo, and Quake.
You know what's funny about that, Jamie? Yo, shout out to my brother, the Don, because Don has always said that gaming genres don't die. It's just one becomes more popular and the other one, it loses some, a chunk of their community to the more popular kind of like genre. But eventually that swings right back around again. People get tired of the battle royale, and I think there is going to be a time. I think we see it calming down now. Not to like a crazy extent, but it's leveling off a bit. And I gotta say, dude, Jamie, I'm right with you, man. I'm more of an arena. Give me a competitive arena any day over like battle royale, bro.
And I'm going to talk about a multiplayer here. I'm guessing almost nobody may have played, and that is Doom from 2016 had an alpha, and the alpha was multiplayer. And that multiplayer was some of the best multiplayer I've ever played in the past decade. And then they changed stuff for the release, which made me and a lot of other people not play it. That's why it wasn't popular, because they changed too much. But the way it was originally was just perfect. It was like the time to kill was like next to nothing and instant respawns, but they changed all of that. But it's like, Microsoft going for all these studios, like they're just going to have more stuff. And the thing is, people accuse Microsoft of having microtransactions and everything, but if you look at all the moves they're making right now, acquiring studios that make RPGs, do you know what games keep people subscribed to Game Pass for a long time? Long-ass RPGs. And if they have a ton of long-ass RPGs, people will stay subscribed for a long time.
Yeah, they gotta beat the game, dude. Like, how are you gonna get a service like Game Pass, particularly if you're looking to get into one game? You don't necessarily want to like throw out that $60 or so. And of course, with your subscription, you get all the other games that you can dabble in. But yeah, long ass RPGs, and you want to beat that game, so you will be a subscriber, longer that way, dude. I can definitely, I can definitely see where you're coming from with that. Now, Jamie, and you mentioned Game Pass. That's something that's interesting to me, because within all this, I'm asking, like, why is this good for Xbox? And I think a lot of it does have to do with Game Pass, because if you look at what Phil Spencer was talking about and how he wanted to reach 7 billion gamers, and when they started acquiring studios, and I think what they're really trying to do here, and correct me if I'm wrong, and I want to get your thoughts on this. I think they're trying to become self-reliant. Not saying that there's not going to be third party on the Xbox platform, because there always will be, but they can depend on themselves for content to drive their services, to drive their hardware, to drive the Xbox platform forward. And I think that this investment is really all about that, becoming self-reliant, because Phil Spencer, he even said he doesn't like second party deals. He doesn't like when exclusive content, paying money for exclusive content on multiplats, and then all of a sudden you see all the acquisitions that they have made, and then they drop this bomb. I mean, dude, you don't have to be Sherlock Holmes to realize that they're trying to become self-reliant, something that maybe I almost broke a rule. I'm not gonna do that. But something you hardly see in the gaming industry. What do you think, bro?
Well, I found a good analogy that doesn't require me to talk about other platforms.
Oh.
Disney Plus. They completely rely on their own content.
That is true.
They've bought things over the years up towards the release of Disney Plus, like Star Wars, Pixar years ago, and Fox. Fox cost like $64 billion, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, and they're gonna put all that content in Disney Plus. But the thing is, Disney Plus isn't going to make money for 6 years. Like, people don't realize that. They have original content. They rely on themselves for content on a regular basis.
They have control.
And yeah, they have full control over every piece of content that goes on there. And I'm subscribed basically to watch The Mandalorian.
Okay.
And it doesn't come out for like another month. So it's like, there's a reason for exclusive content, and when it comes to Game Pass, you need more reasons to get Game Pass. Halo, Gears, Forza, Hellblade, Avowed, all them games I mentioned aren't enough for Game Pass.
Brother.
Game Pass needs consistency. Yep.
Brother, I hate to interrupt you, but bro, we just broke over 200 people watching. Yo, shout out to you guys. Thank you so much. Yo, Jamie, we're up over 200, episode 5, bro.
Yeah, everyone share, like, and do all that jazz. Good times. But, like, look, when it comes to exclusive content, Microsoft needs more. And it's not just a platform warring thing. It's just a fact. Like, for the service like Game Pass, you need content. Is one RPG a year enough? No. Is one first-person shooter a year enough? No. But the thing is, like, they've been screwed over in the past. The whole scale-bound situation, Crackdown taking 57 years to develop. Like, but them being more self-reliant, getting more of these companies. And the thing is, they will still do second-party deals, like what they're doing with Tell Me Why and, Gears Tactics and Flight Simulator. Those things will still happen. But when it came to this Bethesda thing, it's such a big power move for the future of Game Pass and the future of Xbox as a brand. Because if you look at Xbox right now as a brand, the recognizable characters is Marcus Phoenix and Master Chief.
Oh, yeah.
But now they have Dovahkiin, the Skyrim dude. They have BJ Blazkowicz, and they have the Doom guy.
Doom Slayer. Oh, Doom guy. Doom guy. My bad.
Like, these are house recognizable faces. Everyone knows them. Like, everyone. You could walk down the street and talk to a random person. They know who Doom guy is. They know who Master Chief is. But if you have both of those faces in Game Pass, it sells. And then we have to talk about marketing. Now, before Disney Plus was a thing, it might have been the same in the US, but when you got a Netflix trailer on TV or on YouTube, do you know whose faces were in the advert the most? Marvel characters. You had Captain America, Thor, Iron Man. Those films were on there regularly. Hell, Captain America Winter Soldier was on Netflix in the UK 5 times. It would go on, it would come off, it would go on, and, the cycle would continue. But at the end of the day, the adverts on TV had Marvel characters. They need things to sell. They need faces to sell. So when it came to this, I thought, well, they're going to have Skyrim dude in Game Pass adverts. They're going to have Doom guy in Game Pass adverts. BJ Blazkowicz, or how you pronounce it, is going to be in Game Pass adverts. And so it's not just the games, it's also the marketability, because everyone around the world knows those faces.
Jamie, just real quick on that. I like that you're saying that, and I believe, I might be wrong, but I do tune in to other shows throughout the week. And Jamie, I believe you just brought an angle that I have not heard anybody talk about when it comes to, like, the marketing. And we saw it when Larry Herb was, like, putting out, like, the pictures. We saw, like, the slices, the images of all the different games. Now, it wasn't technically, every one of those people that you said. But yeah, when it comes to marketing now, they have, like, a stable of characters that they're going to be able to use that is recognized worldwide. That is a great point, brother.
And the thing is, it's also the secondary characters. You have the Dishonored dude, you have Prey. And, like, even though Quake hasn't been around for a while, everyone knows what that logo looks like. You throw those in a Game Pass trailer, everyone knows what they're looking at. But, Game Pass already has some really good games in it. You have do you know, The Witcher 3 has been in Game Pass adverts for like a year now or something. Like, Geralt of Rivia sells, and he was, like, front and center on the adverts. So when it comes to this, it's just more main characters, and it makes sense because look, next time you watch a trailer for Netflix, or if you're in the UK at least, do you know what the main faces they show in those adverts? The Breaking Bad dude.
Really?
Yeah. Breaking Bad is exclusive to Netflix in the UK. And every single Netflix advert has Howard White, or whatever you call him. Like, his face is front and center. Sons of Anarchy, finished like 5 years ago, is front and center in that advert. It's all about recognizable faces, and you have to market these faces. And Tell Me Why is a good game, but it's not something you're going to throw front and center in a brand new Game Pass trailer. You're going to have the trailer out for that and connect it to Game Pass, and you're going to have the Game Pass advert marketing the huge brands that's going to bring people to Game Pass, because when they get to Game Pass, they're going to play other games anyway. So when they show the things that's more marketable, it just makes sense and it makes dollars.
Dude, yo, you are talking absolute sense right now, man. Dude, I love coming together every week with you to do a show. You always bring something to the table that I didn't even think about. Again, stuff that I didn't hear from other people throughout the week as well. That is absolutely amazing. Now, I'm gonna flip the coin real quick because I think I shared some of my insights in on that as well. Of course, Jamie brought the house down when it came to certain things with that. So we're gonna flip the coin now because we're gonna talk about what this acquisition means to the studios that got acquired, to Bethesda, to id Software. Because before we do that, another thing, Jamie, that I wanted to throw at you, another thing that made this acquisition just that much sweeter, that much more acceptable, was the tech that Bethesda, id, and these studios were working on. Things like that Origin kind of like streaming technology, what's the name of that streaming technology? Jamie, please help me out here. I can't believe I forgot. Orion. There we go. I knew it began with an O. Orion streaming technology, which of course, if they can utilize and find a way to improve xCloud, improve latency with that tech, I mean, they're free to use it. Of course, you got id Software's games engine as well, game development engine. So stuff like that, which now can be used across the board. You can have like Double Fine using id's game development engine, and there's no money in between all that. They're all kind of like one family. I think that is also a really good thing with this. Now, when it comes to the studios, now, one thing I'm going to throw out there, Jamie, before I put this question to you, because this is something I've also wanted to talk about. What benefits do the studios have by being acquired by Xbox? And the first thing, and I know, Jamie, I'm probably stealing this from you, Microsoft's wallet. To be able to develop a game and not have to worry about, well, if this bombs, we are going to take a major hit. To get more creative with the titles that they want to make. If they want to make a newer IP, if they want to broaden the studio, stuff like that. Like, I feel like even though they are now, quasi kind of like first party, I think this allows more freedom, and definitely less stress for the developers. I really feel like this is a thing that will give less stress to the developers, especially with what Phil Spencer has talked about in terms of giving the developers their freedom to create what they want. And of course, when it comes to Game Pass, they don't just need those big AAA, big budget games. If a smaller, dedicated team from Bethesda, from Arcane, if they want to make a smaller game and they really want to put it out there and put their heart into it, it's going to go into Game Pass. So most likely it's going to get greenlit to put out there and see how gamers react to it, and if they're going to play it. So I think this is a good move for the studios as well. So Jamie, I'm going to bring it to you, dude. What kind of benefits will Bethesda, Arcane, id Software, like all these studios, what do you think the benefit is for them to be under the Xbox umbrella?
Freedom and job security. Like, let's look at Brian Fargo, the head of In Exile. Now, when they were purchased by Microsoft, they put out a video, and you could see how passionate they were about being bought by Microsoft. Really think about it. They were passionate about Microsoft buying them.
Wow.
And they said they can make what games they want to make, because for years, and even I knew this before they were purchased, like they weren't exactly in the best ways when it came to money. Like Brian Fargo tried to get funding for all sorts of ways for video games, be it like Kickstarter and other reasons. So it's like he came out and said he can make whatever game he wants now, and it'll be in Game Pass or whatever. Mm-hmm. And that's what's going to be like this with Bethesda, because think about it, Bethesda games aren't cheap. Huge open world games like Fallout and Starfield coming.
Starfield, oh my goodness.
Those cost a lot of money. Games like Wolfenstein cost a lot of money. But the thing is, Bethesda's made some choice decisions in the past when it came to microtransactions and charging for, things when it came to like mods on PC. But at the end of the day, they make smash hits. But sometimes these smash hits cost too much money. But with Game Pass, they can make literally whatever they want. And I've seen so many people mention this, by the way, that Game Pass means you can't get big budget games. That is absolutely horse manure.
That's rubbish.
And I'll tell you why. Because why is Netflix now making $150 million action films for Netflix? The thing about Netflix and Game Pass and all these subscription services have in common is that they need variety. And yes, they could fill it with a bunch of cheap games, which people like to call Game Pass filler, which I cringe at that when people say that, by the way. That is a horrible thing to say. But when people see Game Pass, Netflix, Disney Plus, they want to go in, they want to see a bunch of different stuff. And some of the things they want to see is big blockbusters, which that's what Bethesda makes. That's what Avowed's going to be. Mm-hmm. That's what the next Outer Worlds is going to be. All these big RPGs. So for them being able to get more funding and make what they want to make, how they want to make it, that benefits them, well, greatly. I can't really see any negative. Will the games be limited to what platforms they're on? Yeah. But the thing is, at the end of the day, everyone has a PC, everyone has an Xbox, and the thing is, Game Pass, you're going to be able to play these RPGs on your phone. Think about it, the Xbox sold out in Japan.
That's actually sold out. That's a good topic that I forgot to put in our topics, man. Oh, dude.
I mean, it sold out in Korea in minutes. Apparently in Korea, the Xbox Series S sold out in 30 seconds.
Wow.
I know people like to meme Xbox not selling over there. I get it. It's been a long time. We get the joke. Congratulations. But, Microsoft is making moves there. We have more Japanese support. Again, looping back to Game Pass. People all over the world like Bethesda games. And this is just opening the game up to more, or the games up to more people. Someone in Japan will be able to pull out their phone and play the next Elder Scrolls. That's pretty cool. And when it came to what's Bethesda getting out of it? Well, a lot of cash. And, again, job security. If you watch the podcast with Major Nelson interviewing the other people, Todd Howard and Pete Hines, they look genuinely excited. And there's a difference between
Todd Howard looked high as hell. I'm just saying.
Yeah,
he looked high as hell.
He always looks high, to be honest. I call him Todd Howard for a reason. But it's clear that they were happy about the purchase, despite the fact that it'll be limited to the platforms they'll be on. That says it all, really.
I mean, it's absolutely crazy that we're talking about this. Came completely out of left field. It's even sparked rumors about other acquisitions that might be in the pipeline. Yo, shout out to Christopher Hart. What is up, bro? Good to see you, dude. That other acquisitions in the pipeline and such. But Jamie, and again, we are gonna walk that fine line here, because we only talk Xbox news. We don't mention other platforms. But we got to talk about the gorilla in the room, which is these studios were multi-plat studios. They were third-party studios that have long-running franchises that were third-party. So, I know, if you want to get into what Phil Spencer said, I'll even say, he said, when it comes to exclusive games, case by case basis, when it comes down to it. And I think that's the big thing that people are talking about. Are they going to take a game like Elder Scrolls and make it an Xbox exclusive, or would they do things like still keep it multi-plat, still keep that pro gamer kind of like share going, but really be happy with the fact that these games will promote Game Pass because they'll be in there day and date, and it just makes it more and more tempting for people to subscribe to Game Pass. Like, so we got to talk about the multi-plat versus exclusive kind of like conversation that's been going on. Me personally, I think that they're going to mix it up, and I think that is the best way to do it. That they are going to have franchises that will remain multi-plat, but they are also going to have exclusive franchises that are coming out of these studios as well. To kind of like bolster, the lineup for the Xbox platform to get people to consider, investing in the Xbox console or even Xbox on PC, while also having the multiplats that go out everywhere, but being day and date in Game Pass and for such a low monthly price. Also marketing and bolstering Game Pass to a certain extent where it's almost a no-brainer to subscribe to that service. But Jamie, I got to ask you, what do you think is going to go on here when it comes to um, Xbox with these ZeniMax Studios, and what's going to happen in terms of third party slash multi-plat games and exclusive titles, bro?
If people want to buy or play Starfield, Elder Scrolls 6, future Prey or Dishonored games, Wolfenstein, if anyone wants to play those, you're going to have to buy an Xbox.
Wow.
Or play on your shiny rig. Or even better, play it on your phone.
Play it on your phone.
Yeah. So I put it like this. Me, for instance, I'm looking forward to Starfield. I'm only going to have 3 options: PC, phone, or Xbox. But hey, Disney didn't buy Star Wars to put it on Netflix. There, I said it.
Okay.
Look, when it comes to this, it's a big deal. I get it. People like these franchises have been on other platforms. And I know it sounds harsh, what I'm about to say. But at the end of the day, you've got to pull the Band-Aid off.
Ooh.
People have to deal with it.
So you don't think that they're going to make anything like still kind of like third party? You think it's going to all be, Xbox, PC, Game Pass, xCloud, and that's pretty much where they're going with all this? See?
Here's the thing. When he said case by case basis, think about this. Xbox's momentum at the minute is the juggernaut, right? Nothing's stopping it. Everyone is talking about Xbox, and it's all positive news. Do you know what wouldn't have been positive news if Phil Spencer came out and just said straight up, "Hey, these games will never be on other platforms.
These are ours."
we know how the media acted when it came to Tomb Raider and its timed exclusivity. So imagine that, but with all of Bethesda's games.
Wow.
The storm would have been endless, and this is just a pat on the shoulder saying, "Hey, just get ready, whatever." It's like, it's crystal clear some games will be multi-platform. And I'm going to name them right now, and I bank on it. Fallout 76, Elder Scrolls Online, future card games, and future MMOs. Those will be the only multi-platform games by Bethesda.
That is interesting, man. Dude, I think we and this happens, man. We are different people. We have like kind of like differences of opinion on what's gonna go on here. Either way, I think this was incredible news. I know it really kind of pushed gamers forward, throughout the week. This is what everybody was talking about. This is what everybody was thinking about, when it comes to this. And Jamie, did you notice that they announced this before the Series X and the Series S a day before they went on pre-order. Do you think that was a plan there, bro?
Yeah, that was a 5D chess move. Like out of everything that leaked, the Xbox Series S leaked, the Xbox Series X price leaked. Everything that we could possibly talk about has leaked. It's been a leaky ship. Let's be frank about it. But this, the biggest news of the year, the biggest gaming news of all time, did not leak. But it just happened to be announced the day before pre-orders went live.
Yeah, that
Think
that
about
is
it.
crazy. Like, Microsoft Xbox, they have kind of gotten a reputation in the gaming industry. Like, stuff leaks out of there, and that is really interesting, man. They plugged it for this one. They definitely
Like,
plugged it.
really think about it like this. One day before next generation Xbox pre-orders go live, Elder Scrolls 6 being exclusive pops into people's minds.
Yeah.
People don't want to risk it. People want to get a pre-order in. People don't know when Starfield's out. Is Starfield out next year? And what's this? A few days after pre-orders go live, 3 Starfield images leak online.
That's a funny thing right there, huh?
Also, a bit convenient that nothing else is leaked on that game, but till after pre-orders. Like,
well, you know Bethesda, like, and this is something that people don't really, put into the equation, but Bethesda, they don't like to really put out information until the game's basically ready to come out. It's something they have been known to do time after time. Like, they'll put out, like, okay, well, just say Starfield. When they're ready, they're like, here is Starfield, and they'll show Starfield the game. They'll show the gameplay, and then like 3-4 months down the road, it's out. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Wolfenstein: The New Colossus, same way. It was announced at E3, came out later in the year. Or it might have been the other way around. But either way, like Wolfenstein, Prey, Dishonored, Fallout 4, all got announced within 6 months to its release. So it's like, is Starfield really that far off, considering we haven't had Fallout 4 since, 2017? It's a bit susp, We've all seen the suspicious gifs. Like, this is a big suspicious gif, let's face it. Like, again, just the weird timing. One day before pre-orders go live, they bought Bethesda, and then a few days after pre-orders, we get 3 images leaked after nothing leaked. It's like there's some 5D chess moves going on here. And here's the thing. Look at where Microsoft was 7 years ago. People didn't know what the check-in situation was. People didn't know what the situation was when it came to used games. But let's look at them now. Power moves. I would be surprised if Phil Spencer's sitting somewhere with a big stogie, just wondering what to buy next or what news to drop. Because every piece of news we've had for gaming, for Xbox over the past 3-4 months or the past year, it's all been good. And then they buy Bethesda. That is the micro cherry on top of the cherry.
dude, I like the micro cherry on top of the cherry. Yo, brother, I gotta let you know this, man. I don't know, you're probably seeing it right now, but dude, we are well over 300 people watching right now. Yo, shout out to you guys. Thank you guys so much. We are such a young show. Jamie, I think we both know we didn't know what to expect when we came together to do this, but to see the support right now, oh my goodness, it means a lot to me. Yo, Jamie, what do you think about this, man? Well over 300 right now.
I mean, that's awesome. I think it just goes to show people want an Xbox show where we talk about Xbox. Like the premise of this podcast is literally that simple. Xbox.
Yeah.
We don't bash other consoles. We're not doing the whole super critical of Xbox constantly. Like, I'll tell you everything I don't want or like about Xbox, but to be honest, at the minute there isn't much I don't like. Like, literally, as a gamer that prefers Xbox, I'm completely satisfied. Look at me. I'm seeing Microsoft spend billions to satisfy my gaming needs.
Billions.
Can I really complain at the end of the day? Not really. But hey, good times for everyone. Look at again, everyone, in the chat, like, we can enjoy this launch We couldn't enjoy last generation's launch. Why do you
Yeah.
think the Xbox One X had so much momentum before its release? It's not because it was a new generation. It's because we pretended like it was. We were all hyped about this new console with all these new features where we couldn't have resolution gate anymore. We couldn't have resolution pushed in our face anymore. People enjoyed the One X launch because it got rid of one of the main problems. And with this new generation, they have all these new first-party studios. They have all these games in the works. They have the most powerful hardware. They have ray tracing 120 frames ready to go day one. People can enjoy this launch, and people are hyped. I've never seen people this hyped for Xbox.
Dude, there was
since
definitely
360.
There was definitely, especially with the newest kind of like news, with the acquisition and stuff like that. There is hype out there, Xbox is gaining more mind share, and it's awesome to see. It's seeing people excited about the console, excited about what the future holds when it comes to the next generation Xbox with the Series X, the world's most powerful console, with the Series S, basically the smallest next gen console, but packs a punch for the price, and to see all these studios now under the Xbox umbrella, it is absolutely incredible. But Jamie, we got to talk about something else that was unveiled this week, something that might not have been so happy to some people. There was some people smiling, but other people weren't. And that was the pre-orders for the memory expansion, Seagate's 1 terabyte SSD, the proprietary expansion. The pre-orders came out, and the first thing that people looked at was, and of course, Jamie, I live in America, so I'm going to say it in terms of dollars. $220 for a 1 terabyte ultra fast SSD. At its surface, people are like, "Damn, that is a lot of money," especially people that are buying a Series S. Dude, what did you think about this? I know we covered kind of like the SSD back a couple episodes ago, right? But we didn't know the price. Now we know for sure exactly what this thing, how much people are going to be paying for it. What do you think about the price for this? Again, about it being proprietary, because a lot of people are throwing it as a negative, and I feel like in the long run, I feel like these things will drop in price. But that's just me. What do you think about the price and where they're going with the proprietary SSD solution? What do you think, bro?
Okay, well, for everyone listening, obviously I'm from the UK, and I just did a price conversion, and so our cards in the UK cost £220, around that. That's $280.
Wow. Dude, if you noticed, you heard how quiet I didn't even have a response to that, bro.
Now, the thing is, in the UK, we get charged all over the place when it comes to electrical goods. We're used to it. So for the rest of this conversation, I'm not going to be so negative about it because, I'm a realist. I knew these cards were going to be pricey. The speeds of them, they have coolant on them, like the heatsink is on the card. They were always going to be a bit pricey. And a month ago, I joked about getting a label maker and having a nice little pile of cards next to my Xbox. Well, the good news is I'm not going to waste any money on a label maker. I'm just going to be more mindful of storage.
That is great news. Yeah, I'm not going to waste money on a label maker.
And the thing is, right? Like, look, I like to have all my games on one place. Like, I have 2 hard drives hooked up to my One X with all my games on. Mm-hmm. But there's still games that I would like to have on there. But the other day, I was looking to clear some space, and I noticed Gears of War 4 on there, and that was around 120 gigabytes. And then I thought, when was the last time I played it, and when's the next time I'm going to play it? I haven't played it in like a year, and I probably won't play it till close to when Gears 6 launches. So I deleted it, and I start looking at other games I haven't played in a while, and just a bunch of crap that I haven't played in years. So you have to look at these storage solutions and think, well, okay, it's going to be super fast. It's super pricey. But at the end of the day, that's how much those cards cost.
Yeah, no,
Like
Jamie, yeah, no, and yo, shout out to Crazy Greek Dude because he brought that up as well. And you make a point, and I just want to kind of, I slowed it down a little bit so this way everybody can breathe it in. Everybody can smell what is being cooked right here. If you look at the speeds of SSDs, the size and stuff when it comes to the PC market, Jamie, correct me if I'm wrong, but at least the price I threw out there in terms of American dollars, United States dollars, it's comparable to what's going in the PCs right now in terms of price anyway, right?
Yeah, the price is almost identical. So for like within the included price, you're also getting it's like proprietary, shape and like device, whatever. But it's like, yeah, it is pricey. But at the end of the day, like we're just gonna have to be more mindful of storage, and then you have to look at storage. Next generation will go down because
Thank
again,
you.
they're not gonna have the same item repeated on the hard drive. Like say, look at Call of Duty Warzone. That thing takes up 2 servers in your household, right? So things like that have like tons of lampposts throughout the game. The same lamppost is on the disk or in the file hundreds, thousands of times. In the future, you're only going to have one. So like there are going to be solutions to make games smaller, which aren't possible now,
Mm-hmm.
which will benefit us all. But yeah, the initial price is expensive. And the thing is, like ideally, like I looked at this and thought before we had the prices, like the maximum amount I'm willing to spend on 1 terabyte is £150. Now, when it comes to 220, I look at that and think I could buy a bunch of games for that and I can manage my storage better. And I could buy one down the line when it's cheaper. So is it optimal that it's that expensive? No, I don't want to spend that much on storage. But that's how much it is. That like they weren't going to magically cost less because again, they're in different enclosures. They're smaller than the PC ones, and it's like, yeah, it's something we're going to have to deal with. But again, people just should be more mindful of storage because again, I've just started deleting games I haven't played in years. I have games on my hard drive just so I have a complete set. Why? Like, I
You
have
got
my
that
Mass Effect game.
OCD, bro. You got that
Yeah,
OCD.
like I have all the Doom games. I have multiple copies of the Doom. I have backwards compatible Doom and the new releases of Doom. Why? I don't need them. I have a bunch of older Call of Duties on my hard drive. I don't need them. Like, what? It's we just have to be more mindful. And like, I like to hoard all my digital games and titles and stuff. I want to have them all in one place where I can pick. I could choose whatever I want when I want it. But the reality is, I'm playing one of a few dozen games anyway, which I may as well just keep on anyway and just delete everything else. It's like, but like again, storage comes down over time.
Well,
I remember.
Well, no, real quick. I just want to touch on some things, and shout out to the chat. You guys are absolutely amazing with what you're talking about in the chat, bringing up some really great points. Shout out to our brother Flamish as well. It is good to see you here, brother. Um, One thing I like about this SSD is it matches the SSD that's inside the system. In other words, when you plug it in, it hooks right up to the velocity architecture, and you know that if you have a game running off the memory expansion, that it's going to run at the same quality as the internal SSD. See, things like that, where they're not leaving it up in the air and they're not saying, like, specifically what is being plugged into the back of your system and how it's going to perform. And I think that does mean a lot. And Jamie, another thing that you brought up is the size of these games are gonna come down in size. They have put a lot into the architecture. When it comes to duplicate assets, things like that. That normally a mechanical drive would be all about. Eating up space. Like they're doing away with that. They're streamlining the sizes of these games for that. And when you bring it all into fruition. Another point would be because you can take a mechanical drive. Yo, shout out to Flamish for that sticker. That is awesome, bro. Uh, when you plug in a mechanical drive, you can switch the games over to the SSD, the Series X, Series S games, and play them with all of their functionality. They can't actually be played running straight from the mechanical drive. But another thing, Jamie, is we don't know how quick and simple they have made that either. Like I feel that if they make it like, really quick to switch your game over to the SSD and really quick to switch a game out of the SSD into the mechanical drive, you don't necessarily need the $220 expansion at that point in time. You can wait and see what happens in terms of price. What do you think about that, Jamie?
Yeah, I mean, look, when it comes to a new console launch, I think we've all, experienced the same thing. No matter where you are in the world, you buy your console, you buy your games, you buy some accessories. So it's kind of, normal for us wanting to buy storage day one, even if we don't need it. So, yeah, would it be nice to go out and get a card day one? Of course. But the thing is, people want to save money. We're in a weird climate right now when it comes to, the economy. So, yeah, I mean, the thing is, games already transfer very fast from a 3.1 hard drive. So it's like with an SSD being faster, still running from transferring from a 3.1 hard drive. Yeah, they'll transfer fairly fast. I don't think like you're going to put the kettle on, drink it, and then, the game will be transferred. So like people just have to be more mindful with the storage. And I don't think it'll be a big issue. And again, these storage prices will come down over time because I used to have a handheld console that took SSDs, not SSDs, micro SD cards. And those cards cost around £80 for 500 megabytes.
Oh, damn.
Now, really think about that.
Yeah, well, I think that's the reason why people are kind of like scared of the proprietary, because they think that means that they're automatically going to try to eat people's wallets all the way through this generation. I'm a little more optimistic. I don't think they're necessarily going to be that hungry over that, especially, when you lower the price of something, more people buy it. I think they're going with the standard for the size of that SSD and the speed of that SSD. I think they're going for the standard that's out there in terms of the PC space. But even as in PC, prices drop. I think the prices are going to drop. I'm not going to say like day 2 of release or anything. But I think like, they also know when you drop the price, more people buy. And when more people buy, you make more profit that way as well.
Yeah. I mean, there's the people that's going to be buying these cards day one, regardless whether they need them or not. And there's the people that's going to be saving for, a sale. And trust me, these cards will come down in price maybe like a few months after launch. Like instead of $220, it might be like $180. And then you look at $180 for a card and you might be thinking, well, that's worth
doable.
it.
Yeah.
And again, think about it. Like storage prices drop over time. People just have to wait months. Are people really going to be buying a crap ton of next gen games from November 10th to, let's say, March? I don't think so. So I think people are going to be able to manage the storage pretty well. Because I'm not getting a card this year, not with that price in the UK, but I'll probably get one around March.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense. Go ahead.
No, I'm saying games will get smaller. Like unless you have Call of Duty on your hard drive, games will get smaller.
That's the point I was gonna make. Like, we don't even necessarily know the sizes and stuff like that. Now, just real quick before we wrap up, Jamie, because this is an hour and a half show. We are just a little bit over right now, but we did start a little bit late. Just to kind of top this off, because people like to throw out the Series S when it comes to this SSD. Now, I know we've pointed out that with the Series S, when you download a game, you're not downloading 4K assets. So that right there makes the game smaller. And then you look at the technology that they put in, because everything else is the same on the Series S when it comes to the architecture and all that good stuff. do you think that there is an issue here in terms of the price of the SSD, because the Series S console is basically $300, and you're $80 away from buying another Series S if you grab this SSD. Like, do you think there's some type of issue here? Do you think that anybody who buys a Series S is actually going to need the storage expansion?
No, and here's the why. Like we may look at the price of the storage and think, well, you can get an Xbox Series S for not much, right? For much more. But the thing is, storage costs a lot of money. And the Xbox Series S, apparently Microsoft's losing a lot of money on it because they want this in a lot of homes. So, like, it makes sense, and plus it has a smaller storage solution. But like, look at the people that we're going to call them normies, right? The people that only play, 1 or 2 games a year. The people that only play Call of Duty or, Fortnite or FIFA.
NBA 2K,
those people,
yeah.
Yeah, those people aren't going to be filling up their hard drive, or I should say SSD, with games. That's the reality of it. This box is a casual box. It's still going to be doing 1440p and 120 frames per second with ray tracing. But at the end of the day, they know they target in this console are people that don't care about storage solutions.
Yeah, that makes absolute sense, and I think people that are bringing it up are just trying to trying to poke bears and whatnot. They're trying to throw issues out there. Now, granted, when it comes to the Series S, there's 512 gigabytes of space, but people that are going in for the lower price console, and again without the 4K assets, with the velocity architecture, all that stuff, there's still things we don't know. We don't know the actual size of the games in comparison from the Series X to the Series S. I think they are going to be dramatically smaller. I think that Xbox really took their time to establish what would be the right amount of memory moving forward that they could use with the SSD and the velocity, and still have room there for people to download their favorite games and to play them on these systems. I really don't think it's going to be that big of a deal. Again, what Jamie said, Jamie, I've said that a lot tonight. What Jamie said, and again, what Jamie said, and again, what Jamie said. Jamie, you have been absolutely on fire tonight, man. It is an absolute pleasure to be able to do a show with you, bro. Like, you bring such insight to the table. You bring different angles when it comes to topics, man. Again, I know I probably said this every single episode, and I should probably keep that streak going. But I am so happy that you agreed and you were patient enough to get this show out there and out to the Xbox gaming community, man. I am having a blast doing this show with you, dude. You make a lot of sense. And yeah, guys out there, when it comes to the Series S, don't get into arguments about the SSD, because you heard it on the Series X podcast. Like, they're not going to need it. They're not going to need it at that point in time. By the time they do need it, it's probably going to be at a lower price point. It's going to be more tempting to get. But with that being said, Jamie, unless there's any kind of like final words, man, I think we could wrap up this show, man.
I'll say one thing on the SSD, and I've got one mini topic I can cover in 30 seconds. But
okay.
When it comes to the SSD, the Xbox Series S, that's a Game Pass box. People aren't going to be popping in a disc every other day installing these games. And you don't have to have everything downloaded from Game Pass. You just download whatever you want when you want. Like, I know it depends on like what people's internet situation is, but like, again, here in the UK, almost no one has a cap. You just download whatever you want when you want. And hey, with internet becoming cheaper, people just can download what they want when they want and not worry about storage. Again, the games are going to be 30% smaller on the S. It's not going to be a big issue. It's like, again, why did I have Gears of War 4 on my hard drive when I haven't played it in so long? But that's with the SSD thing. But the mini topic, which I can cover quick, the Xbox is getting a new feature where you can download games before you buy them.
I was just thinking that when we were talking. I was just thinking that. Go ahead, brother.
And as someone who prefers physical, I've wanted this feature for years, without thinking it could ever be a possibility, because I never thought, well, why would they let you download it if you're not going to, have it digitally? But yeah, it's going to be a feature. And I've wanted this for years, and I'm ecstatic over it because, again, I can download a game without buying it digitally. I can wait for my disc to get in the post, and I can have it physically, and I'll be ready to go day one. And that's such a cool feature that just came out of nowhere.
Dude, it brings you back to the times where like you would pop in a disc and play. There was no downloading it to the drive or anything like that. You would just pop in a disc and play. And now, like, you'll be able to do that right off the bat, day one, when it comes to the physical discs, as long as, of course, you pre-download the game. And what happens there is basically it just reads that you have the right to play it, and you're good to go. Dude, when it comes to the physical guys, like Jamie, you know me, I'm basically digital now. Like, me and O Snaps, we share our games. We across the consoles or whatnot, even though I'm using her console right now because mine went on the fritz a little bit in terms of not playable. But, I went all digital. But for you guys, the physical guys, shout out to you. I know you guys wanted something like this, and to see them come out with it, find a way to get it done, that is absolutely amazing. Jamie, I also want to hit the super chat real quick. Yo, shout out to Apex Alpha J Gaming hitting up that super chat. Thank you for the support, brother. He says stopping by to show respect. Good show, Xbot. Yo, and I appreciate that. And it's Xbot and the Elusive Gamer, because I could not do it without this guy. This is my brother from another mother right here, man. Any last words, Jamie, before we get out of here, basically?
Hey man, it's been a good show, and like again, we had like it says 363 viewers. Like, people want Xbox talk, and this is the thing. That's why I'm so energized to talk about this stuff. Like, I like to talk about Xbox. It's it's my thing. It's my bag, and I could talk about it all day. Like, it's when it comes to gaming, that's what I prefer. And I couldn't talk about other platforms, but again, I just want to talk about what I want to talk about. Maybe I'm, a bit of a diva or whatever. People can call me whatever, but hey, I want to talk about Xbox. I'm going to keep talking about Xbox, and that's what this show is. Xbox.
Nice, brother. And again, huge shout out to everybody that came and hung out with us tonight. The chat was absolute fire. You guys brought, a bunch of opinions, a bunch of things. Like, it was entertaining to read what you guys were talking about as well. We do come together every Sunday, 6 p.m. Eastern, and yes, it is to only talk about Xbox. No talk about any other platforms. No console war BS. This is strictly an Xbox podcast for the Xbox gamer. Jamie, it's about that time, man. You are on YouTube. You are on social media. For people out there, they need to follow you in these places. So you got to let them know what they need to type in, where they got to go to see what you're talking about and what content you're coming out with, brother.
Yeah, man. It's been a good show. I always love doing these podcasts with you. And my YouTube, I literally just talk gaming, Xbox. Mm-hmm. Like, I never really talk about other platforms ever unless I'm doing some sort of, business comparison. But again, just Xbox. That is the Elusive Gamer. I should have a video out late tomorrow night. And my Twitter's JamieMan UK, where, again, gaming, Xbox, and some jokes.
Nice, brother. Yo, shout out to the graphic god in the chat, dude. I saw you there earlier, and I was listening to Jamie, but shout out to you. Yo, guys, if you want an amazing, gamer pick, you want an amazing gamer pick on your Xbox that represents you, you got to talk to the graphic god. He's got a website, everything. You can talk to him. You can get stuff personalized, things like that. He is an awesome artist. I think a lot of people need to go check him out. He did the Battletoads logo that I use, that I'm still using, because Battletoads it's an awesome game. So shout out to you, Graphic God, aka All Hail Jay. Good to see you in the chat, brother. And yeah, you guys know me. I keep everything simple. It's Xbot448. I will say, if you haven't subscribed to this channel yet, definitely subscribe. Also, help get the word out, yo. Like, we are all Xbox gamers here. We like talking about Xbox. We like getting hyped for Xbox news, and we also criticize Xbox when they need to be criticized. So why not let your other Xbox gamers out there know that this show goes live every Sunday, and they too can be a part of the chat as we talk about all things Xbox. But again, shout out to you guys. Thank you for the support. And Jamie, from what we saw the last 4 episodes, it seems like we got a call out now. We will see you guys next week, and remember to keep it gaming and to keep it Xbox. Have a great night, everybody.
Peace.